Sadly, the recording crashed, so let's try again. Hopefully, it's going to work fine this time. Sadly, that's been one of the challenges of trying to do the live stream. Sorry about that, the recording crashed. I'm not sure why.
Explosives arm awaiting. Explosives arm awaiting.
Nah, it's the broadcasting that crashed. Not sure what happened. It does that from time to time. Sometimes it works fine, and sometimes it keeps on crashing. Hopefully, it's going to be the only time it crashes. If it crashes again, I'm very sorry, guys. Hey, Bat Mike. Sorry about that. And it could be one of many things. It could be maybe YouTube has some sort of problems. Maybe there's some connectivity issues with this universe between YouTube and this universe. Maybe it's PSN who has some sort of problems. Hard to tell. Yeah, sorry about that, Bank Sonics. Sorry about that, Black Flag. Well, I guess we're done with that, so let's fight some parademons. I have to admit, I haven't used the chainsaw that much. The whip, I'm not sure about that. Sure, in melee it works fine, but if you don't want to fight in melee, the whip seems a little useless. Although, the same could be said about the claws, I suppose. Hey, Gamer Legend. Yeah, but Lex is just a normal man. He's just a human being. These are parademons. But I get what you mean. That's not fair. Don't make fun of Lex's hair problems. And in the latest version, it's not his fault. They shaved his hair in prison. So just three more. Yeah, it wasn't their best idea. Yeah, but that wasn't really the issue. If you saw Now You See Me with Jesse Eisenberg, he can do a somewhat sinister character if he wants to. Like there's a few scenes in Now You See Me where he plays a guy a bit sure of himself and a bit sinister sometimes when he
Thank
tries
you.
to be
Delays will
arrogant.
always be a problem, but you've helped us
And
get them under
he could have
control.
done a good job, but they went with a I don't know a goofy version of Lex Luthor, which is it's easy to understand why they often do that kind of stuff. One Punch Man, yeah, I guess. The problem is that they tried to reproduce the Joker. That's typical producer mentality. They'd ask themselves, okay, what character do we have that's popular? The Joker. So let's have the Lex Luthor act more like the Joker, and he'll be more popular. And it doesn't work like that. And even if you try to argue the point with those producers, they have this weird mentality, I guess. So let's go back to the base for a second or two. I should have checked. I'm not sure yet what I'll do with this nice slim white aura. I'm trying to think which character would benefit from that. And I forgot to check how many marks. I have 42 marks of victory. Do I want to buy? Nah, the chess piece is my best piece, I guess. Yeah. The back piece I meant. I guess we'll play a few missions and we should be able to purchase a nice piece of gear. So let's try and cure for some 4-player missions. I haven't done that in a while. Hopefully we won't get groups that are too terrible. Let's see. Let's stack the deck in our favor and play missions that require 116. And do we dare add... nah, I'm gonna get crucified if I go into the Secreted Cathedral with this character. So let's try this out. Yeah, I kind of like dancing, although I haven't danced in years. As a dancer, I guess the better example would be if you guys ever saw the movie Michael with John Travolta. There's essentially this scene where there's this dance scene with John Travolta and all those ladies who somehow need to dance with him. Let's just say that. Uh, that kind of looks like what I look like when I dance. But I don't know any real dance per se. I just wing it depending on what the rhythm or the beat is. I never took any dance lessons or stuff like that. I just learned by doing, I suppose. So
Okay, I'm still gathering information, but it's
let's give a
clear
little
Intergang is up
bow
to
to our
something.
friend.
They've attacked several targets using some kind of new and powerful high-tech weaponry. No doubt from Apocalypse. I'm picking up reports that Intergang has stopped a prison truck in its tracks and set the prisoners free.
I guess
Head
we're
over
gonna
there
have
and
two
help
guys
out
who
the
are going to
police.
try to
While you're there, keep
solo
your
the
eyes and
mission.
ears open. I wouldn't underestimate Bruno Mannheim's crew. Well, this is pandemonium. Help the officers get the prisoners under control. In the meantime, I'll see if I can discover whatever Intergang's up to. I guess Orange is the new diversionary attack. While you were dealing with those prisoners, I did some digging, and the whole area is experiencing unexplained power fluctuations. Something or someone is messing with the power grid. Scope out the area. I have a feeling they're not doing this remotely.
I have no idea. I live close to a main street,
Oh yeah, that's
so
definitely putting off an
there's lots
Apocalypse
of
team data
alarms,
signature. Tag in
police
and I can do a
cars.
full remote
You may hear one
analysis.
right now.
Stay alert. This will probably draw
Fire
Intergang's
trucks.
attention.
I'm not from France. I'm from Canada. Oh, there might be one or two who plays in secret. I'm not sure where our friends are going. I guess our friend Talon doesn't seem to know really. I doubt Justin Bieber plays this universe online.
I think it's time for a more direct approach. The area is full of intergangsters. See if you can't give one of them a crisis of conscience. An underground vault? That's not on any of my city plans. Wait, I think our friend is...
Most people don't like
This is definitely the place.
the seasonal ever
Cross-referencing
since
small land schematics against a
they
3D
clamped
scan of
them,
the terrain. Those
which I
snakes
can
dove right
understand.
into the vault interior, completely
To the
bypassing
hood,
the
I grew
reinforced
up in the
doors.
hood. Although I never really thought of it as the hood. To me, it was just the neighborhood where I grew up. But then later,
Not smart
when I got older, some of my friends from outside of the hood, I had to point out that I was coming from the hood.
Okay, I've got good news and bad news. The bad news, you're on Oolong Island. The good news is that you teleported in right next to the stolen gold. I'll reverse the teleporter coordinates and send this stuff
There's a
right
lot of
back to
things I
your
didn't
mom.
mention in my vlog. Would have required a 23-hour vlog to mention everything, and even that. Maybe I'll have to make another vlog at some point.
There, that's the last of the gold. After what Bruno did to Batwoman, it sure feels good to swipe that gold out from under his big, ugly nose. But we're not done yet. If we're going to slow down their little operation, we need to get rid of those
But the
new
problem with the
Echo
Halloween
D
seasonals, or
mercenaries.
all the seasonals, is that they for some reason they got into their head to try to make everything challenging. And that's not what the seasonals should be about. The seasonals should be about just having fun.
This is where they're storing the weapons. Tag as many as you can, and I'll teleport the crates to the watchtower where they can be safely dismantled.
But at some point, it's as if they wanted everything to be like the next survival mode or something. So when they added the clamp to the seasonals, they pretty much ruined the seasonals for many players. And some of those seasonals, like the one with Swamp Thing, holy crap, that one wasn't playable for quite a while. From what I understand, at some point they pretty much nerfed the seasonal with Swamp Thing, but by then I didn't want to play that seasonal anymore, so I didn't even bother trying it when they nerfed it. The one with Clarion wasn't so bad if you're the healer in that mission. It's not too bad. You're the one who controls who lives and who dies. But if you're stuck in that mission with a bad healer, and if you're not the healer, holy crap.
That's the last of the weapons. Now, let's find Bruno. If I were to take a crack
Let's see if
at it,
everyone's
I'd
here.
guess he's working
I
with his old
guess...
friend Chang Zhu.
Nah, we're still missing
What I
someone.
need you to do is disable the firewall that's protecting the Oolong defense network. Once I'm in their system, I can track it down.
We should be fine. I guess our friend is farming the enemies outside of this on this map. Personally, I just wish they add more emblems. I don't care if we have to pay for them or not.
First things first,
If they
bring
gave
in the
some free to
Phantom
legendary
location.
players,
Just as
fine.
I suspected,
But
no
if we
and
even if we have
Chang-Su
to pay
are
for
both
them,
gonna reside
I
nearby.
just if we can just have
Putting
new
all their
emblems,
eggs in
that would
one
be great.
basket.
Jamis, I'm not sure about that. Who's Jamis or Jamis? I'm not sure. Well, let's hope our friend Talon will be able to defeat the Chang Tsung before it's too late. Well, I don't know every French people, but maybe if you give me more information about Janice, maybe I do know her. The name doesn't ring a bell. Sorry about that.
Chang-Su isn't the only one with egg on his face. Bruno's gonna be the laughing stock of the criminal underworld after that butt kicking. Anyway, the data from their network indicates that they were using their investments from Apocalypse to
So
fund
that
their
was a
own
bit of a mess,
experiments.
despite having two
Wonder how
high-level
lucky folks they
players.
have to be to escape Darkseid's gaze. Speaking of, something's triggered an alarm in one of
And
our
our friend
gate
Real
halls.
saying
It's forces
essentially
from
he's just going
Apocalypse.
around
Get over
farming
there
for
now.
robots. That's sad. T-Vice. No idea who that is.
Out of the frying pan and into the fire for those two. They'll be busy trying to explain to Darkseid's agents how they managed to lose the brand new weapons they just gave them.
I'm not sure if we can purchase gear to this. Oh yeah, we can. It would be tempting to buy a piece right away. Oh, we can buy the gloves, I guess. Should we buy the gloves? 102. I guess the chest and the pants. Or maybe the headpiece. Would make more sense. Or the boots. Well, we could buy the boots. Let's buy the boots. But this time let's buy the controller boots. And not make the same mistake we made with our Black Lantern. And my favorite power, I'm always torn between either mental or quantum. I love playing mental. Essentially, as soon as I started playing the power, something clicked, and it's as if I had always played that power. And but quantum, I love some of the quantum powers. The quantum tunneling, I love that power. I have to admit I don't know much about the Krillin. Oh, why Zombie of Steel? Nice to hear from you. So let's go and print our new boots, and we'll continue after. I don't know much about the Creole music. I'm pretty ignorant on that front. I have to admit. Quantum is pretty awesome. The visual effects of Quantum is one of the things that make it really nice to play. Although sometimes it's maybe a little too much. Like sometimes it makes it a little hard to see when there's too many quantum effects. But it's a minor nitpick. Uh, I like the Green Lantern powers. Uh, Eons ago, this almost became my main character, but except at the time we didn't have the power over time that we have now. Essentially, the only power over time we had for the Green Lantern was either the gloves or the claws, and we didn't have the what's it impact. We didn't have impact to do the power over time at the time. So and I wasn't used to clipping and stuff like that. So using using the light powers to play as a controller was a bit challenging, I thought. So not long after that, I created my Magneto character, and that's pretty much when I fell in love with Mental. So I would be tempted to say maybe the light powers. Let's keep the sword for a bit. So our new boots raised our combat rating to 114. No, oh, forgot that helmet. I like lightning. Essentially, I kind of like all the powers. There's not really one power. Oh, so that's right across the street. I don't think there's one power that there's not really a power that I don't like. At least I don't think so. About lightning, I kind of like using it. My main on PC is using lightning, and he did fine for quite a while. Although I haven't been playing him as much lately. And also, you guys probably saw the streams I did with the Flash, or before the Flash, I even had a Captain Marvel character. So I kind of like the lightning powers, and it took me a while to figure out how to be able to use it so that I can spam powers as much as I like. So, but now I have a rotation that I kind of like that allows me to pretty much spam powers, or once in a while I'll have to maybe take a break from spamming my powers and use weapons for a bit to recharge, but it's a minor thing. Sure, I could do some rage video at some point. I have two rage characters. I have a rage Hawkman, and I have a rage Manhunter. Well, for water anyway, it's been pushed back to 2017. So that's a bit sad, but what can you do?
Brainiac. I knew he wouldn't stay gone forever. You've got to help Batman. All of them. If Brainiac gains
Holy
control
crap,
of the
there was
Nexus,
quite a bit of
the
lag.
consequences will be unthinkable.
Alert.
I guess we have someone who's trying to solo the mission.
Warning. Batman Union integration interrupted.
Yeah, I'll do Rage. Maybe tomorrow.
Batman Union integration interrupted.
Our seers sense a distortion in reality. I think
Oh, water could be cool.
into our universe.
That's not really the issue.
Clear Brainiac's forces out of the Nexus.
Oh well. To Akon? Okay.
Alert. The Nexus has been compromised. Additional security measures enabled.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll try to do something. Oh, it's on the other side.
.6% of the Nexus systems have been restored to Brainiac.
Well, I haven't played Rage all that much. If you're looking for the best loadout ever or stuff like that, I'm probably the wrong guy for that. So I can do a let's play, but don't expect to get the best tip for Rage from me. I don't know the power enough yet.
Begin Union integration.
Well, they pushed back water power. We suppose they're going to release it in 2017. The thing is, we don't really know. They've announced it so long ago that we thought it would be released this summer. and then it became clear that it wouldn't be ready for this summer. It would have made sense to release it during the Aquaman seasonal this summer, but obviously it wasn't ready. So will it be ready for 2017? We don't know because we don't know what the holdup is. Did they run into some major glitches that they cannot fix? Do they have some animation issues? Do they have we have no idea because we don't have any real information about what's going on. So all we can do is speculate and guess. And okay, now everyone's going everywhere. Um, Constellations, maybe.
Warning. Batman Union integration interrupted. Begin Union integration. You are too late. My plans are nearly fulfilled.
Batman is clever in any reality. He set the Nexus to send you back in time to the moment before Brainiac's forces entered it. Once you've traveled through the
Bow or
portal,
mark.
there won't be
Let's
any
go for the mark.
contact you. Good luck.
Yeah, I didn't really bother with the briefing this time. Next time. So let's try and wait for our friends. Hopefully everyone will be there. I guess not.
Protocol Omega 52 initialized.
Pastries are good.
Will be unified.
Some are better than other. When I went to Germany eons ago, they had some really good ones. The apple strudel were really, really good.
Already a success.
Shut up and fight.
You cannot stop me from entering the Nexus, Batman. This frame is damaged. You cannot stop me from entering the Nexus, Batman.
Bread?
You cannot stop me from entering the Nexus. The Nexus is no longer.
What's wrong with brute size? Acrobatic I can understand. It's a little harder to go around with acrobatic. It's much easier to go around with a flying character.
Nexus, Batman. No entity can resist. Break the Nexus is
especially when there's like some hard to reach collections sometimes.
Shut down.
Well, I do have a bunch of acrobatic characters, so I kind of know about acrobatics. You kind of get used to it, but yeah, I understand that it's a bit, let's say, more challenging to use acrobatics. Let's go for the hand blasters. Why acrobatic doesn't work when you use brute size? I'm not sure I get that part. Well, next time. Essentially, I have only one brute-sized character, I think, and he's using skimming. Pretty much all my other characters are using the striker body build. I tried to use the smaller one. The name escapes me, and I pretty much hated the look of it. So I had two characters that were using that body type, and I changed it at some point. Essentially, the thing I didn't like about the smaller body type was that it was squishing essentially the emblem. I had created essentially my kid zoom started with that body type, the smaller body type, and the emblem on the chest of the zoom emblem on the chest was like all squished and distorted. So I didn't really like that. So I switched the body type to a small striker. The spark, yeah, that's it. So I switched the body type to the smaller striker body type, and it fixed the emblem being squished issue that I had. It wasn't a big deal, but I didn't like the way it looked. No, I guess I should clear out some crap in my inventory. Oh, you guys lost me with the hard rock and the gay stuff. I'm not sure what. I guess I missed a few comments while I was playing. So let's try another one. If I'm in Amazon? Uh, Not really. Oh, you mean in Timiscara? Yeah, I'm there. Like these are all Amazons, and there should be Wonder Woman nearby. There she is. Like here's our little friend 1D. Sometimes she looks bigger than others, though. For some reason, sometimes the same character will look huge on one map and very tiny on the other map. I'm not sure why it's not always the same size. Probably some reasons, but You would think that, but apparently they let anyone in now. I guess they could make a map and restrict it to female characters only. Already they did that with a few styles, and we see every week we see threads about that, especially the Star Sapphires. We see a lot of people complain that the Star Sapphires can be female only, and they want to make male Star Sapphires. So imagine if there was a map that only female characters had access to. Some people would probably throw a fit or something. So they didn't go that far to respect the DC lore. And sadly, we have these invisible walls, so we can't go and explore, which is sad. But it still looks kind of nice. Ah, come on, you can wear pink and not be gay. Don't be like Grace Randolph. Grace saw Captain America and Bucky in the Captain America movies, and she's convinced that they're gay for reasons. And she keeps on pushing that agenda, trying to convince people that Captain America in the films is actually gay. That him and Bucky are a couple. But I think she's just trying to create a controversy. That's probably the thing I like the least about her. She's a nice lady, but sometimes she tries too hard to cause trouble.
I assure you that those mercenaries will comply.
Well, technically the Rainbow Lanterns are the White Lanterns. That's if you combine all the colors, that's what you end up with. Not too long ago in the comics, what is his name? Kyle Rayner was a White Lantern. And essentially he had pretty much access to the powers of all the Lantern Corps, I think. It depends. If I use my Manhunter, yeah, I can do it live. Although my Manhunter is like level, I don't know, 15 or 12. It's not very high level. So if I use my Manhunter, it's going to be a pretty low level missions. If I use my my Red Lantern Hawkman, he's higher level. He's I think combat rating 60 something. But I won't be able to make a live stream if I use my Hawkman. So if you guys want a live stream, I'm gonna have to use my Manhunter. Kyle Rayner cannot be gay. He was going out with Donna Troy at some point. Is he still in the Stars of Fire? I haven't looked in the comics lately. I know he was with the Stars of Fire for a while, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was a very long-term thing. I'm not sure when I'm going to play tomorrow. And I'm not sure why our friend isn't healing at all. That's a bit better. Ooh, just what I was looking for. Yeah, well, in the comics they went with the way the theory where every light combined together creates white, as opposed to in painting, if you combine every colors, you end up with black. Uh, but in science, it's the opposite. Tomorrow I'll try to make a stream, probably one tomorrow morning, maybe one in the afternoon, like around 2 or 3, and maybe if you guys are really nice, one at night. But in the morning it'll probably be a Neverwinter video, because sometimes the maintenance in the morning lasts for quite a bit. So I'll probably do the stream with the Red Lantern in the afternoon, maybe around I'd say around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sorry to see you go, Black Flag. I guess we'll see you tomorrow, maybe. Oh, let's go for the statue. Yeah, I could do that if you guys want.
Cars and Malthusians who now reside on Oa. When I first came here, it was as a member of the Celestial.
I could do lots of things. I could do superhero origins or supervillain origins. I could talk about the various stories, classic stories, or more obscure stories. There's lots of things I could do. I'm not sure why our friend Kali burns a truckload of power, but it doesn't seem to heal all that much. It's a nice map. They did a good job with this one.
She'll be fine. We'll get the rest of the folks out of there. You can head back to Earth for now.
Oh, let's go for the ring. You hate Ambush Bug? Why is that? Poor little guy. He wants to be your friend. Why'd you hate him so? Poor Ambush. Oh, let's go straight to our base. I guess we can add one more Green Lantern banner. Well, why not? Already have a bunch, but can always have more. Oh, let's see. Aw, you're gonna hurt Ambush Bug's feelings. He's not ugly, he was born that way. It's not his fault. So I guess you never read his comic. Let's put the little statue here. Let's put the container too. And just one arc. There seems to be three of you left. So you, Mirage, and a third guy. Yeah, it's getting a little late. I'm not sure if I'll play one more or if we'll call it quits and continue tomorrow. Let's see. Well, I don't watch cartoon and try to see dirty things, if that's what you mean. And I don't just watch cartoons with an adult mind. I make cartoons with an adult mind. So I think that's going to be it for now. I'm not sure if we should do something else. No, I'm not a big fan of Family Guy. Family Guy, what's the other one? American Dad, and oh, I do that with not just cartoons, with movies. And very often when you watch movies, you'll see like that woman who works like as a waitress at this crappy restaurant, and somehow she can afford a huge apartment in New York. Yeah, I think about stuff like that, but not just with cartoons, with anything. Whenever I see, which is one of the things I kind of liked about the Spider-Man Sam Raimi, especially the second one, where he had this tiny little shithole apartment because he couldn't afford anything better, as opposed to in the first film, he had a pretty huge apartment, but he was sharing that with Harry, and I'm pretty sure it's Harry's father who was paying the bill, so they could afford to have a big place. But then when they were into Spider-Man 2, uh, then it made more sense for him to have that tiny little apartment. And in cartoon, yeah, you see the same things. Sometimes you'll see people and you'll ask yourself, how can they afford the apartment they have, or the car they have, or all the gadgets they have, or when even just look at Batman. Uh, how did he and Alfred build the Batcave? In many, very often, it doesn't make sense. There's no way the two of them, or even the three of them, if you count Robin at some point, there's no way the three of them could have done all that. So you have to wonder, did they hire a contractor and then they killed them, or they had them swear never to tell anyone? You don't know. And the same goes with cartoons. Sometimes you have to not worry too much about those things. Yeah, I watched Heroes. The first time I tried to watch Heroes, like I tried to watch it in the middle of the season. Like I watched, I don't know, episode 6 or 7 or something like that, and I didn't understand why people liked that show. And then much later on, a friend gave me like the first 13 episode, I think, and holy crap! Then it made much more sense. But by the time, essentially, once the first episode, I was like, oh, okay, it was intriguing. But then by the time I reached the end of the second episode, I was hooked. I was hooked, and I watched the whole thing. I watched not just the 4 seasons they did, but even the fifth one they did like last year, the sort of reboot or something. Not reboot, but anyway, essentially they tried to revive the series, and holy crap, was that 10 kinds of not awesome at all. It was nice to see Noah Bennett again, and even there's one episode where I had hope that it would get better. Yeah, but I'm not just talking about the big hole. Like all the machines he built, all the structure he built. Someone has to have built that. I haven't listened to the soundtrack itself of Heroes, but I did. Obviously, I heard the music and the show itself. Heroes essentially is all those what seems to be like different characters who are all doing their own things, and then there's some of them are discovering that they have powers. And at first, it doesn't seem it seems random. They don't seem to be linked somehow. But then the more you go into the story, and the more you see that their paths essentially converge towards a specific point. And there was also these pretty nice drawing done by Tim Sale, the guy who did the artwork for Batman: The Long Halloween, amongst other things. And like essentially at some point the guys are trying to put some paintings together that some guy did who can sort of paint the future. It was a pretty cool series. I'm about 5 foot 5.5 or something like that. No, not quite 5 foot 6. So I'm about as tall as Wolverine in the comics, I guess. So I guess that's going to be it for now. But yeah, just to finish off on Heroes, I watched all 4 seasons and I loved every seasons except the fifth one, which was supposed to bring back the series, and it was a mess. They tried to introduce all those new characters, which we didn't really care about, and essentially the show really became a little better when they would show us some of the older characters. But aside from Noah Bennett, we will barely see any of those characters. Yeah, you younglings are all taller than we were in my days, sadly. So I really enjoyed the first 4 seasons of Heroes, and I know that a lot of people had complaints about the fourth season. I liked it too. It wasn't the same as the first one, but it still was good enough for me. The Rage Let's Play should be, let's say, tomorrow at the 3 p.m. And in the morning, I will probably make a Neverwinter video because usually in the morning, this Universe Online is uh, it's doing its reset, its daily reset, and sadly, sometimes the daily reset, especially when there's been a big patch like this week, sometimes the daily reset takes a lot longer than usual. Heroes was about a whole bunch of different characters who somehow discover they have superpowers. And at first, you think it's going to be separate stories, but by the first half of the first season, they pretty much converge towards a single point, and they more or less all meet each other. There's this one guy, Iro Nakamura, who's this Japanese guy who can teleport, and he's well, how does he say it? He's the master of time and space, so he can teleport through time and space. There's this other guy, Isaac Mendez, who can paint the future, and essentially with the painting that, but he has to be like on drugs to be able to do his paintings. And essentially they try to piece together the paintings of that Isaac Mendes did to try to prevent some big catastrophe. Because at some point, Hero in the second episode, Heroes goes into the future, and it turns out that in the like X amount of times in the future, there's this huge bomb that goes off in New York, and that destroys like most, if not all, of the cities of the city. And so essentially, they when he goes back in time. When he goes back in time, then they try to prevent that future from happening. And the roadmap they have to try to try to prevent that. No, I won't ruin anything. I'll just stop there. Essentially, they try to use Isaac's painting to try to prevent that future, and it leads them to a cheerleader, and it leads them to a whole bunch of stuff. And but so essentially, you have these like separate stories, these single characters that are doing their own things, and that are discovering their powers, and that are discovering that what they can do. And essentially, they try to prevent a big catastrophe. It's a bit. There's not. I think there's just one kid. This cheerleader. Hiro is. I don't know. Is in his mid 20s, early 20, late 20s, I suppose. He has his friend Ando with him. Isaac Mendez is late 20s, also, I suppose. I have a great memory. Uh, who else is there? There's Peter Petrelli, who thinks he can fly and has these weird dreams about himself flying. And he has his brother Peter, who's running for he's running to be senator or for Congress. I forget which one. Micah is one other. His mother also, and his father. So it's all these characters who have these weird powers and who discovers their powers, and essentially at some point they try to Nathan. Nathan is oh yeah, Nathan Petrelli. I'm not sure why I said Peter. Nathan is the one who's trying to be a politician. So it's a yeah. At some point he tries to become president. Well, he does become president, but anyway, I'm trying not to spoil too much. But it's a pretty awesome show. If any of you guys haven't watched Heroes, you have to watch that. The first at least the first season at the very least. That's the season pretty much everyone agrees that is all kinds of awesome. They try to be a bit clever with the seasons after that. Sometimes they would try to throw some plot twist and change things around. And I guess if you like the plot twist, then you're going to enjoy the other seasons. If you don't like the plot twists, then the season will not work for you. And there was a few things that kind of messed up that series. The Asian is a great one also. And essentially, the first thing when they did the second season, there was the writer strikes at the time. No, no, you not you might check it out. You have to check it out. It's mandatory. You have to. And the second season there was the writer strike, so it kind of messed up their plans, and they had to cut their plans short for that season. And then the fourth season there was the Olympics. No, I've never tried to recreate those characters, I have to admit. It would be a bit difficult. I guess with Hero we could make an acrobat using like a sword and quantum powers to mimic his power, especially quantum tunneling, so that he can teleport through time and space. Uh, Peter Petrelli, that would be a bit difficult because he absorbs the power of different characters. Nathan Petrelli only flies, so there's not much you can really do with Nathan. Any flying characters is Nathan. There's what's her name? Chrissy Sanders, who she has super strength, and that's pretty much it. Micah can talk with machines. Nothing, not. It's not something you can really do in DCUO. Who else is there? Mark Parkman is a mind reader. Again, not really some. Yeah, we could create a mental character and call him Mark Parkman, Matt Parkman, but I wouldn't really. be the same. Siler also has multiple powers depending on different times in the series. Oh yeah, that's one of those. The first season of Heroes, if you could wipe your mind clean, that's one of those things. That and Baldur's Gate. I wish I could forget about Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 and replay those games again. But it doesn't work like that. Maybe many years from now, when I'll have Alzheimer's, I'll be able to watch those shows over and over again and rediscover them for the first time. But until that happens, nothing we can do about that. And yeah, once in a while, there's a few shows you like to be able to rediscover. The X Files is probably one of those, even though they pretty much ruined the series with the last two seasons. Uh, and also, once you've seen all the once you've seen all the episodes, it's not quite as good. When you go back and watch the early episodes, knowing where it's going to lead to, it sometimes it doesn't really work. So you can see some of the flaws, and then the whole thing falls apart. Ideally, to be able to really enjoy the X Files, you have to watch the whole thing and never watch like the last two seasons. It's pretty much that simple. Because sadly, a lot of those things, I guess they had some sort of global plan, or they had some rough outline of what where they wanted to go with the show. But and once they got there, they pretty much fumbled the ball, or they seems to have made up a lot of stuff on the fly as they went along, or maybe they changed their plans for reasons that could happen. Like I know the first season when what's her name? Gillian Anderson, when she became pregnant, essentially they had to scramble a bit and they had to make some changes on the fly to accommodate the fact that she was pregnant. But they worked that really well in the show, so it doesn't really it actually made the show better. Kenocon, I'll have to look it up. Well, let's see, Kenocon. Oh yeah, and it's in English dubbed. Yeah, okay, I'll give it a try. So here's the deal. I try Kenocon, you try Heroes, and tomorrow we'll talk about it. What say you? So I guess that's going to be it for now, guys. So tomorrow morning, I'll probably play a bit Neverwinter. So if you guys don't aren't really interested in Neverwinter, I guess I won't see you tomorrow morning. But in the afternoon, let's say around the 3 o'clock, I'll try to log in with our Red Lantern Manhunter, and we'll see what we can do with that little fella. He probably still has the double XP from the Wonder Woman emblem, so I'll probably go up and level a bit faster. We'll see. So that's it for now, guys. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.